Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 4 of the Stock Car Championship Series. We are live from Concord Speedway. We'll get down to the track here. Now, the wiki going around at the moment. You see Jeff Gordon, Bobby Allison. Just behind. This is our warm-up session here for 400 laps at Concord. It'll be 15 minutes, and I already got 3 of those in the book. Shot here, uniquely shaped track, almost like a Pocono, but obviously about 10 times as small. Going to see a bunch of action, lots of passing with lap cars and causing even more passing with the leaders, so it should be very exciting to watch. Don't believe we'll see much in the line of cautions, so that's a plus. Try an attempt at a race here, as you may have tuned in for this a few days ago. Unfortunately, we were not able to complete it, as I like to say we had rain coming and wash away the race, but internet issues unfortunately caused us to disconnect and we're able to continue. So back again here today. It's about 300 miles at Concord. Arbo's coming down pit lane. Very excited start here at Concord. Just close racing. There will be contact, but I don't believe we'll see anybody really actually crash or go around. This is not something we've seen in any of the practice racing that we've had so far at this track. Got just under 10 minutes left now in warm-up, following along with a large group of cars. See Kyle Larson, actually our quickest overall in this pack as well. Outside line is very quick. It's typically the quickest line, but you can't make the inside work if you have a lap car or just being really slow. It is possible to make a pass. Leaders get stuck in traffic like this, it is very close and exciting. And the short track racing here we get at Concord is pretty much a product of NASCAR and stock car race. We want to make sure to include it here in our season. So we got Concord on the schedule, Bristol, Martinsville. So also do you have Iowa, USA, International Speedway. So quite a few short tracks on the schedule. We did try for IRP, but unfortunately we were running into quite a few issues with cars entering pit road at that track and actually running into the incinerator. So green flag pit stops just were not really feasible at IRP, unfortunately. One track we might bring in next year that is, I would consider a short track, is Brands Hatch Indy. Excited to see if we can get that on the schedule. And there are a couple others, like Linear. See if we can, like I said, get those on next season, as we do have 36 here on the schedule this year. This being, again, race number 4. We are halfway through the warm-up. Following along with 1st and 7th right now in practice. That's Kyle Larson and Tony Stewart. Coming up on another pack of cars. First in points right now is going to be Jimmy Johnson. Let's check in with him, see how he's running in warm-up. Coming 10th overall, so pretty good. Larson, who is quickest overall, 2nd in points. And then you got Kyle Busch, who is currently 8th in practice. He is 3rd in points. So those guys will be certainly cars to contend with here today. Let's go on board here for a moment with Jimmy Johnson. You get an idea exactly what these drivers are going through in this short track. Excuse me. Make sure to get this squared up. Check up a bit as someone's coming down pit lane. It'd be a little tricky if it's not called out. The spotters aren't made aware it can jam up that inside line. It slows down as is. They just don't get the drive off that little dog lane. Turn 2. Turn track, we'll call it here 1, and here's 2, and then heading up here into 3. Not sure how it's actually categorized. This is a dog leg, considered a turn. Just about 5 minutes to go in warm-up. Kyle Larson, Bobby Allison, Dale Sr. remain the top 3. It is just to make a pass on this track. Back to a little wider shot. Cale Yarborough here racing actually with Jimmy Johnson. He's 12th overall, having a pretty good year, 5th in the points. Petty coming out of pit lane. This cause Winston there in the backstretch. Jinx is saying we don't have cautions here. This is our current points leader by 8 points over Kyle Larson. See if Larson can back up this practice qualifying. He did win the pole at New Hampshire. There's 2 races ago, and in fact he was the winner at our last race on the road course at Watkins Glen, showing he has the range to win any type of track here and we're going to compete with at the end of the season. Under 5 minutes here, just about 3 minutes in fact until we get to qualifying. It'll be 4 laps, and fastest lap will set the pole in the starting grid as a whole. And there you go. Carl Edwards, he went around heavy there. Stepped away for just a moment, and Carl Edwards slammed into that. So now it's still going. Not sure how that works, but let's go back a lap here. They were going 3 wide, and then it got 4 wide off of turn 3. Good way to wrap up warm-up just to see what we're in store for here. So Terry and Carl get into it, and then it's a Kurt into Terry. Sends him up over here. Let's take a look here one more time. Whoa, in the air. Great shot there. Let's try here. This will be a good view. There's not enough room. And Edwards now in pit lane, understandably so. Back to Kyle Larson, under 2 minutes to go in warm-up, and nothing changed here in regards to the standings in warm-up. We'll take a quick look here, see where everybody's running and the time that they were able to get in. Hard to get a clean lap time in as well, but Kyle Larson seems to have been able to do that routinely. Anybody towards the back where maybe you aren't expecting, like Kevin Harvick, he's a little further back. That's about it. Towards the front that we don't typically see, I'd say David Pearson quick. He's had a great year, but we'll see how that all shapes out here in practice, or in qualifying, just 1 minute time. Larson gonna get pretty tough to beat here. He's running a full stint now. This is lap 41. End up on Neil Bonnet. Neil Bonnet typically towards the back of the field. 33rd right now in practice. See what he could do at qualifying. There's a track where some cars that maybe aren't typically towards the front could really have a good race. You know, a lot of crazy things can happen at a track like this. The practice is over. Checker flag is in the air. I'm about to get transferred over to qualifying. Get that setup on the car and see who can come away with the pole position here at Concord. It's not vital at a track like this, especially so much traffic, but pole at any track is going to be an advantage for sure. Especially, I mean, when you even think about pit stops. But here we are. Kyle Larson first out onto the track. We'll make sure to stick with him as long as he is fastest car, and otherwise we will switch to quickest on track as that rolls in. First lap though, just like that, about to hit the books here. Green flag. Hit the books. Homework. It's all basic math for Larson here at Concord. Looks like we had a little bit of a disconnection there here during qualifying. Hopefully that doesn't happen again during the race. Jimmy Johnson, quickest. See if he stays quickest. 1,000th of a second over Richard Petty. Oh, Logano, he sneaks back in. Gets the pole on the last lap. Bobby Allison second. Kyle Larson quickest in practice. He'll be third. And your points leader, Jimmy Johnson, fourth. So great qualifying run. Let's take a look at the full field. Got Logano on pole. Bobby Allison, again, 5th in points. Larson, he is 2nd in points. Jimmy Johnson, 1st. So a lot of points leaders there right at the front of the field. And we'll go a little bit further back. Richard Petty has not had the season he was hoping for, but can definitely turn it around here today. Bill Elliott, pretty good qualifying run. Let's see if we got anybody towards the back we typically don't see. Everything pretty standard though here in qualifying. So go ahead and get these cars out on track and run through the field so you can see where your favorite driver's starting. And then we will get these cars underway for, again, 400 laps at Concord. To our drone camera high above the safety car. Check out the flag man here. So he gets the field set. Great shot as they round turn 3 and the field or the crowd standing ready to get these cars underway. Lots of great matchups here side by side through the field, particularly this one, Earnhardt and Gordon. You got Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Bill Elliott. Bill Elliott having a pretty good year, routinely ahead of his son Chase. David Pearson there on the outside in the 17, and then we got 2 more 17s there in Darrell Waltrip and Matt Kenseth. Bobby Labonte and Davey Allison alongside, and then you got Greg Biffle and Brad Keselowski. Carl Edwards, we saw him go for quite a ride on the nose of Terry Labonte earlier in warm-up. And rounding out the last few rows here, got Michael Waltrip, Bubba Wallace back here, Jeff Burton and Kyle Petty. In the final row, got Kenny Schrader and Clint Boyer. So back to the front of the field, we'll go ahead and get checked in. Be 2 pace laps. And then we will get underway here at Concord. Field makes their way by under the first of 2 pace laps. Just how small this track is. Almost the entire place can fit in one camera shot. And we'll get the 1 to go just like that. Joey Logano on pole. His first of the season. Logano didn't have the best race at Michigan to get the season started, so kind of been on the rebound, but the last 2 races have gone very well for the 22. See if he can get his first win here today. Bringing the field down for the green flag. And away we go. Big jump for Logano. See, Larson was able to slide up into second pretty quick. Not a good start for Bobby Allison. Let's watch as the field makes their way through turn 3. Bobby Allison had that high side, though, so he was able to get down in front of Richard Petty. Good battle here for about 4th and 5th. Enjoying this as the front of the field single files out for the moment. Larson, we know very quick he can make his way, track down Logano. I think no problem. Meanwhile, Jim Johnson struggling to get around the outside here on Richard Petty for 4th. Just hoping he could maybe cleared him by now. It looks like, if anything, Richard Petty might be the one to clear Jimmy Johnson here in just a moment. Meanwhile, the top 3 really pulling away significantly, actually. This battle has hung up the whole field. There we see 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And the rest of the field right there. Ooh, sideways Richard Petty there off of turn 2. So then back around the track, you see here comes Logano, Kyle Larson, Bobby Allison. They're closing in on lap traffic very quickly. Oh, Tony Stewart was completely out of shape there. What a shot of the cars making their way through turn 1. And Richard Petty is now clear Jimmy. So now he can finally figure things out a bit and maybe try to track down the top 3 as they catch lap traffic here in just a bit. Will not be long. It's lap 10 now underway here for Logano. Currently the quickest lap overall at 16.219. Larson at a 16.233. But now this is also where it will get very interesting. I mentioned the traffic is heavy here at Concord. You're going to want the high side, but the inside can work. Also depends on who is slower in front of you. Looking to the high side again. Logano now trying to get around to the third. A lap car, that's Ricky Rudd on the inside. And got Richard Childress teammates ahead of him. Boyer and Burton. You know, Larson staying right attached to Logano's rear bumper. Richard Petty, he's been able to pull away a bit from 5th place, so kind of closing in on this group. He'll be in lap traffic soon. Cale Yarbrough currently 5th. Got 2 Napa cars there on the inside line. Not looking good for them early on. Already lapping up to, this is going to be 33rd. Larson right on the rear bumper of Logano. See if we can go on board real quick. Excuse me. On board Kyle Larson as he is trying to track down our leader Joey Logano for the lead. Obviously, but see a bunch of cars right ahead. Larson able to take the preferred line through this part of the track and really close that gap right back up as Logano now stuck behind Ernie Irvin on the outside. Now we're getting to his inside. This will be 31st and 32nd or 30th ahead of our leaders. Now Larson's going to go to the high side of Logano. Can he get there? Almost. Logano leaves a little space. Almost contact between the leader and Irvin. What a shot there. Close racing. Back out here to the front straightaway here. Let's see if we can take a look at the gaps. Here's 3rd, Richard Petty and Bobby Allison. Then you go back here to 5th, Cale Yarbrough and Jimmy Johnson. They're really tied up. You can see really strung out here through the mid part of the field, but then Larson going for the lead on lap 22. He's going to get it. Gets around the outside of Dale Jr. while Logano is stuck on the inside. Basically 1 lap here for Larson is now look at the outside of Truex. Let's go back real quick. Check with Richard Petty. He's able to get around for 3rd, but now on the inside, see if Bobby Allison can make his way back. And we'll go a little further back to Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon, he's now single file. But really had a race here with Cale Yarbrough, Dale Earnhardt, and Jimmy Johnson. These guys have been going at it non-stop. Back to the lead. Still side by side. Larson, however, leading the laps. So we are now up to lap 25 here today. Ooh, Dale Jarrett sideways off of 3. Check up the inside line. Four seconds now, the gap from second to third. Even a bit more now, 5 seconds I see. Look at that. Gaggle of cars. Here comes the lead. There's Larson, Logano on the inside. And then you got Richard Petty and Bobby Allison. Gordon's caught up here. Let's go back to Gordon. They've caught the battle for third and are now looking to overtake even because Petty's on the inside and cannot get around his car-running teammate, Bubba Wallace. Petty now up to the high side, gets almost pushed up by Bobby Allison. And Richard finally makes the move. Clear of the 23. Meanwhile, Larson now 2-second gap on Joey Logano. See Gordon here still riding along in 5th. Got Dale Earnhardt just behind him. And then up ahead, Bobby Allison and Richard Petty about to clear this pack of cars. See if we can check back to Kyle Larson, though, who has clean air on his nose. Bad news for the rest of the field. Joey Logano. He has lost touch with Larson. You see Richard Petty and Bobby Allison now about to clear Jeff Burton. They should be able to start to make their move back on the top 2. Now up to lap 35, and we have 22 cars left on the lead lap. Very quick race here at Concord. Whoa, wow, the traffic is insane right now. Just ahead of Kyle Larson. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it, actually. Look at how many cars are coming around here. There's Petty and Bobby Allison. They're clear. Now look at this. Neil Bonnet, this area here. That is tense. Neil Bonnet and Ken Schrader really holding up the field. Jeff Gordon cannot get by. You got Clint Boyer on the outside. It's mayhem right here in this part of the field. A lot of good cars potentially going a lap down if they can't get by. Basically caught this group now. Wouldn't be surprised if Gordon forced the issue a bit at some point. Because you gotta go. Larson is latched onto the tail end. I'm sure their spotters are making their drivers aware. You can see him here in the background. It's behind Bobby Labonte in that green car. Looks like Jeff Gordon's finally getting the outside following Bill Elliott. See Larson back here. Logano's even joined this group of cars. Right now, third place. Bobby Allison's still trying to get loose of a group as well. So, big gap from second to third. But cars like Matt Kenseth and Denny Hamlin, they are being lapped as we speak. Wiki at 14. He's very close to going a lap down. You see Larson here on the outside. He's getting around Harvick. Kyle Petty currently the last car, 40th right now, but very difficult to get around at this point of the stint. Contact maybe. Oh, close. Had Kulwicki check up, and now Larson's to his outside. Just like that, Larson has put all but 13 cars a lap down this early. Incredible pace. Well, we saw it in practice. It was very apparent. He was going to be tough to beat. Logano's back there still in this group of cars. He's not out of it by a long shot, but Logano on a rail right now. I mean, Larson on a rail. Car's coming off turn 3 down the front straightaway. Rusty trying to hold on to his lap here on the outside now. Make it 14 cars on the lead lap. Good for Rusty Wallace getting his lap back. Because Larson was actually stuck behind another fellow Kyle, and Mr. Kyle Petty. And look at this. Even Kurt Busch may be looking to do the same thing. He's on the outside of Larson, and he's going to get there. Some cars that maybe weren't ready to go a lap down because of lack traffic, showing they can still contend here on the outside, even with the leader. So, you got Darrell Waltrip and Alan Kulwicki. They're right here. Darrell Waltrip looks like he's going to get around. Kulwicki almost getting into the rear bumper of Larson. Cars getting their lap back. This is pretty unreal, actually. Larson frustrated here by Bonnet. Instead, just looking for a way around on this outside. Looks like he might get it in the dog wagon. Finally does. But now 17 cars on the lead lap. Big difference from 14. Especially if you're, one of those 3 to get back on the lead lap like Kulwicki, Waltrip. Saw Kurt Busch. Great job. And Larson's stuck again. Davey Allison might get there. Albon and Balvin, they're about to be side by side, all thanks to the Sitco car. Oils. Battle of oil companies here. Oil barrels are going at it. Bonnet, though, just can't quite get to the outside of Larson to make that run happen, so Davey Allison got to the rear bumper. He's going to hopefully be be the lucky dog if the caution happens to come out here. But so far, so good. No cautions yet in this race. On lap number 60 of 400. Type of race just flies by. Just over half the field, though, a lap down to this point. See if we can go back to Joey Logano for a moment, as he has a little company on the outside, but Bobby Allison, he's there just in his rearview mirror. Jimmy Johnson's made his way up to fourth, battling with Richard Petty. Allison, he might have had an issue here. Let's see. Davey Allison was trying to be the lucky dog just even a second ago. Crazy how quick that turned, because there goes Kurt Busch, Kowicki. Just like that. A few loud cars, and Larson is mowing him down again. So still about 2.5 seconds for Larson, back to Logano. Logano was on pole. And a great jump on the start and set sail, and it wasn't until lap 22 that Larson was able to get the lead. It really just took off. It was not a battle after that. And now Darrell Waltrip, who is 15, is about to go a lap down. They'll leave us with only 14 on the lead lap. And we are approaching lap 69 of this event. And lap 69 here of 400. Kyle Larson to the outside of Harry Gant. Caution free so far. Number 5 Valvoline car for Larson has just been unstoppable so far. I don't know if anybody has anything to compete with this here today. I understand, though, we might have some debris on the track over in the dogleg by our pit entrance, as a matter of fact. Not a good spot for debris at this point. Might have been from some contact as they check up through that part of the track. See if we can get a better look at it here in a moment, but Larson still leads. Lap 73. You see the debris, something shiny maybe down there. Yeah, we do get a caution. Not sure what happened, but let's see if we can check it out. Oh, Bobby Labonte hard into the wall with Cale Yarborough. Heavy hit. So Kyle Larson down pit lane. Let's see. I imagine we'll get everyone else of our leaders. There's Logano, Bobby Allison, Stewart, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Yarborough, Richard Petty, Earnhardt, Gordon, Pearson, Mark Martin, Bill Elliott, and Rusty Wallace. That is all of the cars on the lead lap. Logano gets off pit lane first. In front of Larson. Impressive. Bobby Allison third. Oh, Kyle Busch with a great stop. Oh, I hope I didn't remove him. Oh, that was close. Okay, do need to wave him around. So it looks like a few of the cars that did not get out of the pits in time will actually be starting at the tail end of the field on the lead lap. Be interesting to see how they make their way through. So that is about 11 or 10 cars that will be together on this restart, and then another 10 that'll be towards the back of the field. Very interesting dynamic here for the lead lap cars. And we are about to go back. Green flag racing. I'm sure many of those guys are hoping for a quick caution. See, kind of the same thing that happened with Bobby Allison, but Larson with a bit of a better start. He's going to hold the position on the high side. Try to stay there and stick with Logano. Get that lead back for the 5 car. Really fighting to stay on the outside of Bobby Allison. Larson doing everything he can. Really got a good run off of 1 there. Caused Bobby Allison to check up a bit into 3. Well, a lot of our elite lap cars. What is that? Oh, Martin Truex down pit lane. Larson now clear. Another car in pit lane. Looks like it's Kurt Busch. Cars pitting here. Not sure if there was contact or if they're trying some sort of pit strategy here with the likes of Martin Truex and Kurt Busch. But Larson, Kyle Busch These guys now clear of any other battles on track. Logano now closing in on the tail end of the field, which includes Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott in 16th and 17th. Coming up on lap 100 be our 1/4 point of the race. The 1/4 mark. Not much of a fight put up by Burton, so Logano gets by easily. And pole sitter now going around 17. Put him a lap down. We see Chase Elliott there on the outside, gonna make it easy as well. Bobby Labonte here in 40th. Lots of damage though after that incident he had. Cars still going, but definitely not 100%. Jeff Gordon in a lot of danger going a lap down. And Logano's going to go to his outside. That is all she wrote. Larson's going to close in a bit here. As is Kyle Busch. We'll keep an eye on their progress, but Logano's where he wants to be on that outside line, putting Jeff Gordon a lap down. Here comes Larson. He's getting there quickly as the outside line is really just opened up. See, getting held up a bit here as Michael Waltrip's a little off pace, and as is Clint Boyer. See what Logano does is he's going to actually get around the outside of Boyer a little easier than I maybe thought, but two Hendrick 5 cars now trying to track down Logano. One being Terry Labonte, who is a lap down, the other being Kyle Larson in second. Don't have to go much further back to see Bobby Allison now. He's gotten around Kyle Busch. Looks like Kyle got maybe hung up on the inside line momentarily. Oh, contact with the leader. Neil Bonnet pitching the leader down there in turn 2. Just about 1/4 of the way through this race, coming up on lap 100. Next time by. There's Logano inside on Davey Allison. Here's lap 100. Now Logano's stuck on the inside line. What is this going to do for Larson and Bobby Allison? They're actually on the inside as well. You see Jeff Gordon trying to get his lap back. On the outside. He might be able to do it. He's got Bobby Allison behind him. Oh, wow, huge group of cars now, and they're really stuck here behind. It looks like Ricky Rudd on the inside, then you got Neil Bonnet on the outside. There's nowhere to go, hoping they can clear Neil Bonnet though on this outside, and that will help Logano get around. He is there. Kyle Larson's still second, but now Kyle Busch now gets around this, as I said, as Larson's stuck on the inside line. First shot of the cars make their way through turn 3. There's the whole field. Really spread out through the middle part here. And then here comes your leader. And the most traffic on entire circuit here. Just everybody packed in. Let's get a good shot here from the air. And there is Concord Speedway. Got your leader entering turn 1 right now. Just a great perspective of the track. When I look at this view, it really gives me arcade video game vibes from Mickey Thompson days. If anybody ever played that game, but at that overhead shot, this is what it reminds me of. I think they had a NASCAR version too, but awesome shot of this track. Here's Joey Logano getting back in the lead. Second place now is actually Kyle Busch, as Kyle Larson has fallen back to 5th on that inside line. Larson's gonna have his work cut out for him if he wants to come back and win this race. That bad pit stop really set him back. Looks like Larson is clear now and actually closing in on Bobby Allison. Getting around Neil Bonnet there in turn 2. So 2nd through 5th, about 1 second separating them at the moment. Tony Stewart's got a bunch of company now right on his rear bumper. Trying to hold off Bobby Allison, can't do it. In fact, he's going to give up 2 spots here. Oh, Allison right there. Tires might be going on the 20. Just got passed twice there with a save spot. So Larson and Bobby Allison get by Tony Stewart. Kyle Busch up to 2nd. Stewart, his tires must just be going away at this point in the run. Joey Logano's got 4 seconds now on the lead. Let's go find Logano real quick. As he's entering 3 now behind Ernie Irvin. Closing in on Bill Elliott, who's in 13. Joey Logano actually following Bill Elliott here on the inside line. As we mentioned, works in some few occasions and works very easily against cars like Burton, who are definitely off pace at this point in the race. Larson now back up to 3rd, getting by Kyle Busch. A battle for 3rd, really getting going again. Larson now looking for a way by Bobby Allison. There you can see Logano up ahead. I see Bill Elliott. Looks like he will be clear off of turn 1. And Logano should be clear into turn 3. See if Bill Elliott can keep his spot now with the leader right on his heels. Yep, there goes Logano to the high side. He's going to get there. So as quick as Larson was in the first 75 laps of this race, Logano has taken over in the second stanza. Bubba Wallace having a pretty good run here in 22nd. Impressive to see. Started towards the back, so it's able to get around a lot of cars in that first run. Using that high line, I imagine. Coming up now on more lap traffic for the leader. A couple of that being Carl Edwards and Denny Hamlin, who are already lapped down, but also looks like we got Rusty Wallace and Chase Elliott, Mark Martin. Bobby Allison, Kyle Larson, Tony Stewart, second, third, and fourth. Bit of distance at the moment, so we'll stay here and check on our leaders, see if they can put any other cars a lap down. Actually, looks like Larson's closing the gap. Let's get over here. Got Darrell Waltrip as a buffer. There we go. We have turn 3. Nope. Darrell just closes the door. Doesn't want to make it easy for Larson. Back again to Logano. So I'm getting around Mark Martin, putting him a lap down. Hate to see it as a Mark Martin fan, but still having a great run, all things considered. Chase Elliott actually a lap down, so I thought he was on the relap, and actually 18th. So he was actually at the tail end of that last restart, is what that was. And let's see. Too bad we weren't able to get everybody back in order for that restart. But maybe it will kind of resolve itself here by the end of the race. Rusty very loose off of one, trying to get by Chase Elliott. Got 11 cars on the lead lap. Rusty going a lap down, obviously, would make it only 10. Yeah, I knew a lot of cars would be lapped down, but that is more than I think I anticipated at this point in the race. Larson was so fast on that first run. Just put so many cars a lap down so easily. See Bobby Allison closing in a bit. Now down to 2 seconds. Meanwhile, Larson's still back 3 seconds. Everybody kind of spread out in the top 10 at the moment. See if Rusty can hold on to his lead lap, but I think it's going to get taken right there. Yep. Once you give up that inside, or give up the outside and stick to the inside, it's pretty much game over. Looks like we got, yeah, Bubba Wallace on pit lane. Not sure if that's a scheduled stop or not, but getting service done here on lap 138. He's having a good run, so hopefully it is just a regularly scheduled stop. Indeed it was. He's back on track now. Logano still amidst lots of cars here. We'll go back to Bobby Allison again. See Larson looking for a way to get by Hamlin, who's currently too wide with Mark Martin. Just nowhere to go. Bobby Allison now clear a bit. You can start to close in more on Logano. He's still in this group of cars ahead. About to get away though. Saw Jeff Burton leaving pit lane. More and more cars now making their way down for stops. It's an interesting time. Lap 143. Oh, Bobby Allison goes a bit high, almost gets run into by Hamlin, but Hamlin gave him a bit of leeway, being Bobby Allison is in second at the moment, but if it was anyone else, he may have pushed the envelope, sent Bobby up into that outside wall. Logano, now that he's clear, gap about 4 seconds. It's incredible what momentum and clean air can do at a track like this. Bobby Allison started second in this race, so it's good to see first and second back where they originally started, showing that those qualifying laps were no fluke. Even at a shorter track like this, they're able to keep their cars up front. And third place actually started third as well, and Kyle Larson. Logano continues to be side by side up here, yeah, with Bubba Wallace, who, interesting here, has fresh tires. So Tony Stewart up 5 spots, good job there. David Pearson as well. Looks like we don't have any hard chargers yet to this point. Carl Edwards up 7. And Carl Edwards up 7 spots. That'll be highest mover of the race. We got Bobby Labonte, definitely going to be taking the biggest hits so far. Much of our top 10 remains where they were, though, at the beginning of this race. If not in their starting position, then towards the front. There's Bobby Allison, down to 3.7 seconds. I thought I was seeing like 3 or 4 wide on the front straight. I just had to do one of our static cameras here to make sure my eyes weren't fooling me, and they were. But here's Logano still dealing with Bubba Wallace. They close in now on Michael Waltrip. Then you got Bobby Allison all the while making his gap narrower and narrower with Rusty Wallace also trying to get a lap back. Lots of variables here. I think if you're Bobby Allison, just follow the other Miller car around Kevin Harvick. And Logano is using up a lot of tire, staying on the inside of Bubba Wallace, but it may pay off here in a moment as they catch Michael Waltrip. Let's see what lane Michael chooses. And will it be the one that blocks the leader or the lap car? I think we have our answer. Holding up Logano here down the back straightaway. Oh, to the inside though. Logano gets his nose there, and that's gonna clear him of both Waltrip and Wallace, I believe. it does. Now Bubba Wallace will follow. There's Bobby Allison and Kyle Larson looking to get closer to the leader. Tony Stewart and Richard Petty, your top 5. Got 10 cars on the lead lap. Here at Concord. Still under halfway, but closing in on that halfway point very quickly. Here is second and third, Bobby Allison and Kyle Larson. I think Kyle Larson definitely has the quickest car here today, but can he get back to Logano is the question. There's Logano off of 3. Starting lap 162. See these guys do about 125 laps on a pit cycle, so being that they stopped on 75, they could make it to 200. Seen a few cars come to pit lane early. Stuck on the inside a bit, but now it's going to get to the high side as Ricky Rudd comes out of the pit lane. Perfect timing to jump high there. It will also look like maybe get to Dale Jarrett. No, not quite. But won't take long here. There goes Bobby Allison to the high side as well. Looks like Larson's going to try to follow. He's a bit further back, so it'll be a long shot for him into this corner, sending it in. Larson's going to get there too. So the gap under 2 seconds from first to third. At this point in the race, pretty impressive. I mean, all things considered, been pretty chaotic. I'm sure some those issues there during timing and scoring on that caution. Logano coming up on a lot more traffic up ahead. Here's second and third again. Bobby Allison, Kyle Larson continue to go through the same cars that Logano has passed. Bubba Wallace going to be one of the tougher ones to get around with those fresh tires. But does give up the high side, which allows Bobby Allison to get there and make the move. Bubba Wallace has done very good on those new tires, just to shout that out. A lot of times you'll see cars fall back pretty easily. He has not lost a lot of time to the leader. He came out with those fresh tires. Apologize for any technical issues here. We are having a bit of skipping, I understand. Try to let it smooth itself out here, but the battle for the lead leading up. Bobby Allison has caught the lead. Kyle Larson there in third. Bobby Allison to pit lane. Lap 178, big moment here. Logano continues on track. I apologize for the technical issues here, but hopefully it's smoothed out by now. Back to the front with Logano. We've got now one of our leaders at least down pit lane. When will the rest follow? How much of an advantage will it be for Bobby Allison? Cale Yarbrough in that mix has gone down a lap, so that would have been 10th, but now is 9th in this race as Bobby Allison again has pit. Still driving very hard here, looking to get Pearson a lap down. He is in 8th. Really shrink the size of his lead lap field. Got 7th and 6th even just up ahead in the next pack of cars. Of course, looks like it's Jimmy Johnson is one of them, with maybe Dale Sr. even. So, they are looking to get going quickly here. Pearson now a lap down. 7 cars, all that remain. Another big checkup, though, for the leader on the inside. Does he make his stop soon? Close call there. Neil Bonnet's going to get back to Logano's outside and maybe even give Yarbrough a shot at getting a lap back. Yarbrough's there. He's still got to get around Bonnet to really make it work. Kawicki, you see, making his stop. Part of me wants to check with Bobby Allison, but it's hard to leave the leader at a point like this in the race. When he could be coming down pit lane at any second. Kyle Larson just back in the background there. 2 seconds off the lead. Pearson and Yarbrough really battling it out here for 8th. Just behind the leader. Also trying to be that last car on a lap down in case a caution should come out. too wide in front of Logano, really holding up his progression. Bill Elliott and Kurt Busch making a literal wall in front of the leader. Pearson now clear of Yarbrough. Looks like he's going to hold on to 8th for the time being. We are again getting reports of debris on track. Understand, actually, looks like a fluid maybe on pit exit. So, gonna potentially see the caution here in a moment. I thought Logano was pitting there. That was very interesting. But Pearson now to the outside. Across the line, lap 196. Pearson, he is ahead of the leader at this moment. Logano's gonna pit. Comes Larson as well. I think Bobby Allison, yeah, he's staying out because he did just pit. So Richard Petty, Tony Stewart, they're coming down. I just gotta get Jimmy Johnson out before the pace car. He does, just barely. There's Joey Logano, be your leader. Have at least 8 cars on the lead lap. See how many get the wave around here. Take a moment to get this all straightened out before we get back to green flag racing. We'll add 2 more laps here to the caution, so we'll go 1 more after this. Lap 200 in the book, so we are halfway through this race. Logano and Larson 1-2. Bobby Allison took a real shot in this race. Had a good one going, but that early pit stop cost him with the caution coming out. Now we should have everybody caught up now with the field, and we'll get back green flag racing in 1 lap. On the lead lap, 9 cars. David Pearson and Cale Yarbrough at the tail end of the field. 7 cars at the front of the field, including Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Richard Petty, Kyle Busch, and Jimmy Johnson. And again, David Pearson, Cale Yarbrough, 8th and 9th. Last car Our first car a lap down is Rusty Wallace. Lap 203 underway. Get the green on lap 204, so 197 laps to go. Green flag in the air. Great jump by Logano. Larson's trying to hold on the outside of Tony Stewart, but Stewart got a great jump. Stewart up to second. Richard Petty even making a move here to the inside of Larson, but Larson will slide into third. Battle now for fourth with Dale Sr. and Richard Petty. Dale Sr. on the outside has the advantage, I believe, and he does. Looks like he might clear down the back straightaway. And he does. So the top four is now single file at the front of the field. Haven't seen that really all day. It's been a battle just to get cars in order. So it seems. But the top four getting away. Logano, Stewart, Larson, and Earnhardt. Kel Yarbrough down pit lane. Not sure the issue there. So Tony Stewart not really letting Logano pull away here. The battle for fifth rages on between Kyle Busch and Richard Petty. While Jimmy Johnson kind of holds on and see if he can find a way by. Bobby Allison's in 10th, trying to track down Rusty Wallace for that first car lap down. Back to the front again. There's Tony Stewart in second. Shadows growing a bit longer on the back straightaway here in Concord. Top four running incredibly even here. Fastest lap of the race still belongs to Joey Logano. He set that on the first stint of the race. Yeah, we are closing in on lap traffic just like that. A lot of traffic here at the back of the field. Pearson is only been able to make up 2 spots. I do not. Oh, Cale Yarbrough actually had to pit, so there's David Pearson in 8th, the last car on the lead lap. Oh, Chase Elliott with a bit of a defensive move there, going to the high side, knowing that's where Logano wanted to be. So Tony Stewart now has a decision to make. Follow the leader or go for the lead. Larson's going for the lead on the outside. He just pulled up 5 spots out of nowhere. He's going to get the lead here in just a moment as Logano took the inside for some reason behind an ailing Jeff Burton. Burton currently 40th in this race. And you only got Chase Elliott, who's running about mid-pack. Top 4 running 2x2 behind lap cars. Earnhardt Sr. goes to the inside. And Chase Elliott can't make the pass on the outside. Great racing here for the lead. It's like Earnhardt's actually going to get third around Larson, as Chase Elliott's really struggling at the moment. Top 4 just continue to hash it out here. Under 200 to go at Concord. Tony Stewart's looking at the inside now of Logano. He's there. But can you make the pass on the inside? A lot of cars here up ahead. Stewart's to the lead. He is actually theoretically in the lead. Or not theoretically, literally in the lead. And will lead a lap here. Getting around Kyle Petty on the inside. Just like that, it's back to the outside through the dogleg. What a move for the lead by Tony Stewart. Heck of a drive. Winner at our first race of the year at Michigan. Made that look easy, but masterfully done. Top 4, nose to tail on the outside here as I make their way around turn 3. Stewart drops to the low side to get around Ken Schrader. Trying to be very methodical with this lap traffic. Good caution as Logano got the run there off of the dogleg. I thought Dale Earnhardt was going to go 3 wide there for a second into turn 3. Of course, 1 second ago to take a sip of water. He's diving it in for the lead. But Stewart now clear of Ken Schrader. It looks like Dale Sr. is going to pick up second. While Logano is stuck on the outside of all places with Kyle Larson on his rear bumper. The top 4 really switching it up lap to lap and in a bit of a jam with all this lap traffic. And Logano slices down in front of Pearson at the last second there, trying to keep tabs with Earnhardt. Not lose Tony Stewart, who is starting to drive off a little bit. See what Logano does into 3. Contact with Schrader, no. Oh, Larson will get the run now into turn 1 and off the corner, I believe, to potentially pass him in 3. So of all the cars that got left out here, Joe Logano, he really got kind of hosed on out of the whole deal. Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson running 5th and 6th just behind these guys. Earnhardt Sr. now is trying to get around Jarrett and Rudd. Now put him right back in touch with Tony Stewart. Earnhardt looking really good here at this point in the race. Car's driving well at the right time. Speaking of right time, I thought this was going to be a nighttime race. Nighttime is the right time, but there's issue with the lighting system here at the track and unable to use them. So maybe in the future, but at the current time, we don't have access to the lights here at Concord. Gotta have the master key like back in the day on the basketball court. See Tony Stewart up ahead of these cars. That's the leader. Got a bit of clean air here for a bit. See how quickly Earnhardt can get by. Hopefully not lose touch with Tony Stewart in that 20 Home Depot. I always thought that Earnhardt's car, obviously being all black and the Intimidator, really stuck out, especially in the rearview mirror. You see that car, you get nervous. You see an all black number 3. One car I thought had the same potential was the orange number 20. I've seen that would have a very similar effect of the Intimidator, but I think it was there but never fully developed for Tony Stewart like it did for Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt Sr. is still here in second, right behind Harry Gant now, trying to get around. Looks like he will. Tony Stewart has now put up a 3-second lead. And there you see second, third, and fourth. See Petty, Kyle Busch, and Jimmy Johnson now entering that big swarm of cars. 160 laps to go. Time is dwindling on this race. Been an hour and 13 minutes so far, so really speeding by at this point. Looking at currently second, third, and fourth with Earnhardt, Larson, and Logano. We'll get back up to the leader here in a moment. He is working around his his teammate, Bobby Labonte, who's running 37, bringing out the first caution of the day after contact. Can't recall exactly who he had the run-in with, but put him up into the outside wall pretty hard here in turn 3. Car just has not been the same since. Tony Stewart putting in laps at this point, just kind of on cruise control. No heat, knows he has a bit of a gap. That gap can close just as quickly as you formed it when you run into a huge pack of cars. I imagine we'll see pit stops around lap 325. That would be my guess. So under 100 laps from now, but still a ways off. Could see him sooner, even as early as 275, as, you know, if you want to run the race backwards, as some people do. These guys here, like Earnhardt and Larson, just having a little bit more difficulty with the lap traffic than maybe Tony Stewart was. Not giving up the outside line as much as they'd like it to be. Logano now moving on Larson for third. He'll get that, I think. So he has the outside line in 3. That's a big pass here at this point in the race. You know, any pass for position is going to be key. Tony Stewart now, he's really in it up ahead. Huge pack of cars here. Oh, he's really being held up too. You can see Dale Sr. and Logano now clear, and they're going to be on this pack in a heartbeat. They're able to run the full length of the track, top to bottom. These lap times are just on fire right now for Senior and Logano. It's exactly what they needed. Larson still hung up back there. Didn't get around lap traffic as easily as Earnhardt and Logano did. Stewart now. Oh, almost 3 wide here. Let's take a look as they come off of turn 3. It's getting dicey here with Dale Earnhardt. Oh, wow. Bill Elliott just keeps checking up. And Larson is actually getting passed now by Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch. Incredible. And any ground that Earnhardt was making up has just been lost here with Bill Elliott. And it's Tony Stewart going through wide. The leader through wide through lap traffic. Incredible. Maybe one of the moves of the race here. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean, that just put an extra 4 cars in between himself and second as they were closing in quickly. And Earnhardt could not pull that off. He was trying to go 3 wide and do exactly what Tony Stewart just did. See Jimmy Johnson showing up at the right time here, end of the race. In for the C's, 3rd and 2nd right in front of him. And Tony Stewart catching even more lap traffic. He's to the high side though, so he's going to continue to move forward. Logano clear. Pole sitter in second, looking to get back to the lead here in the final 150 laps of this race. He's got a lot of work to do though. Gonna need a great pit stop from his team. That pit stop could be coming up in the next 60 laps. Anytime in the next 60 laps. Logano, I thought he was going 3 wide there. He's not willing to push it like Tony Stewart did. There goes Logano. Is he going to do it here? Nope. But Earnhardt may be looking for second. And yeah, Tony Stewart is just driving away at this point. 3 wide with Earnhardt. Kurt Busch is side by side. They get around Davey Allison, actually. Incredible job there by Kurt Busch. So Logano clear of the traffic in this group, but now can't even see Tony Stewart. He is more than a straightaway ahead. And it's going to take a miracle at this point. I mean, some serious problems, I think, for Tony Stewart in order for these cars second on back, second, third, fourth, fifth to catch back up. They are at a serious disadvantage at this point. There's Earnhardt in third. It's got a decent gap back to Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch. Larson's got to be kicking himself for the way part of this race went. See Tony Stewart, nobody around at the moment. Smooth sailing for our leader. 4.4 the gap. Let's take a look on screen what that looks like for you. Here's Joey Logano right now. There's third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Time here is the leader going by with Clint Boyer, and here is second place Joe Logano, third Dale Earnhardt. Look here from the camera off of turn 3. Tony Stewart getting by Clint Boyer. Boyer did not have the day he was hoping for. 39th at the moment. Stewart having a great run here. This middle stint has just been unreal in every sense. I thought he was going to pit lane right there. There is Joey Logano. So now got Dale Sr. back close behind. Logano's using the high side, trying to get by this lap traffic, and it's working pretty well. Still got 5 seconds to close back up on the leader. But it's definitely doable, especially now that Logano's got his own sort of clear air now. And there's Kyle Petty in front of him and should be able to get by here off of turn 3. Oh, Kyle Petty blocks the spot. Sometimes you wonder, right? 4 seconds now, first a second. Got quite a few lap cars. See how quickly Logano gets to the tail end of this pack. Because honestly, Tony Stewart's already a few cars through it. Dale Earnhardt clear as well. So the top 3, really the remaining cars are the shot at this point in the race. Looking at 2nd and 3rd, the leader up ahead in heavy traffic. Keep with Logano as they close in on 13th place Mark Martin. So it's 39th place Clint Boyer. Tony Stewart up ahead, using the high line in this lap traffic very well. Logano get by as Boyer's up on the high side. Potentially the worst spot for him to be right now. Harvick's going to clear Boyer. Logano almost shoving the rear bumper of Boyer through turn 3. And Dale Earnhardt is actually even looking to get 2nd now. Even on the inside. Almost making it 3 wide here off of 3. Oh, Logano gets to the outside. Perfect. Needed that. Guess he could have been in a bit of trouble. Inside Harry Gant. See if he can make it stick, as he's also got Ken Schrader just ahead. All right, closing in quickly now on the leader. It's 2 seconds. Seems Tony Stewart's a bit stuck behind Bubba Wallace on the outside. He's got Rusty to his inside, who's really fighting still very hard in this race. We'll go back to the leader here. Now that we see 2nd and 3rd in the same shot, almost instantaneously, like 2 or 3 laps is all it took, and these guys were right back on each other. Less than a second separating 1st and 3rd. See the top 3, Stewart, Earnhardt, Logano, pinned behind Kevin Harvick and Bubba Wallace. Stewart clears Harvick. Now looking inside at Bubba, who's in 31st, trying to hoping he'll give him some room. Logano's going to move to the outside of Harvick and clear. Logano now going to be right in pace with Stewart after they clear this lap traffic. Huge move there for Logano. Earnhardt's about 2 cars back at the moment. They might lose a bit of ground. We are coming up on pit stops very quickly. But Logano now right with Tony Stewart. 0.6 is the gap. Nobody really in front of them or behind them causing any issues. This is almost like a fresh restart with just over 100 to go for the top 3. Dale Sr. losing a bit of touch. 1.4 the gap. 2 seconds there. It happens quickly. If you're stuck on that inside, you're in for a bit of trouble. Oh, can't quite clear Bubba off of turn 3. Should get him off of 1 though, and then be able to move forward. Back to the front. Logano's going to take advantage of Stewart to try to get by Rusty Wallace. Battle for the lead here. Just over 100 laps remain. Pole sitter Joey Logano. Really been one of the fastest cars all day. Tony Stewart just seems to be in the right place at the right time late in this event. Had a great pit stop on the last caution. Really put himself in this position. Kyle Larson, probably one of the quicker cars of the race, is back in 4th. Not far off, so definitely not over. Tony Stewart clear of Rusty Wallace. Logano now trying to do the same off of turn 1. Rusty not going to make it easy though. Tony Stewart pulling away as Rusty hangs on the right rear of Joey Logano, his teammate. Not very team-like of Rusty Wallace here, but do what you gotta do to keep yourself alive in a race, even if that means at your teammates' expense sometimes. Logano now clear, but Earnhardt Sr. closed that gap entirely. Kyle Larson, I'm seeing him. He's here. Yep, 4th place in the picture. 5th is Kyle Busch, 6th Jimmy Johnson, 7th Richard Petty. And now here's the lead again. Tony Stewart back to more lap traffic. Logano, huge run to the outside. Gonna be behind Ricky Rudd, who's a bit slower than Denny Hamlin. So how will this play out? 100 laps to go, now 99 laps to go. The countdown is officially on here at Concord. The witching hour has struck in the Stock Car Championship Series. One more pit stop remaining in this race. Then the top 3 separated by literally 1/10 of a second here. And they are 3 wide off of turn 3 for the lead here at Concord. Incredible action. Logano holds the lead now. Earnhardt goes to 2nd. Stewart drops back to 3rd behind Denny Hamlin. Just cannot get by. Larson is here. It's going to make it a 4-car battle in the waning laps of this race. Kyle Busch is back there. Not out of the question by any means. And Logano now closing in again on very heavy traffic. Potentially the heaviest we've seen in maybe over 100 laps even. It's all on the inside, which is definitely to Logano's benefit. But hold the high line. Pit stops should be within the next 20 laps. And that will be potentially the most telling part of this race. You see Earnhardt and Stewart losing a bit of time on the outside right now. Stewart was able to fly through this traffic. I mean, Logano was able to fly through the traffic. Earnhardt and Stewart are just kind of stuck here, nowhere to go. That move helped a lot for sure. Bonnet getting the inside. I see Logano closing on Darrell Waltrip. Darrell's had a great race here today. Thought at one point he might be able to stay on the lead lap, but the timing of the cautions just didn't quite fall his way. Earnhardt. I thought he was coming to pit lane. Whew. Back to Tony Stewart now. He's up to second and probably going to get around on the outside. See up ahead, Logano stuck behind the outside on Darrell Waltrip and Carl Edwards. That's still out there. Going way wide in 3. Going to lose a bit of momentum. Tony Stewart going to close the gap here and get around Truex and start to work on this group ahead. It's an incredible race going on this late at Concord. I didn't expect it to be this close, knowing we wouldn't have many cautions. Only 2 cautions so far today. Lap 316 now, going on the board. So put us at 85 laps remaining. Larson and Kyle Busch losing a bit of touch with the leaders, so something to keep track of as pit stops approach. You want to be close as the stops happen. Hopefully you can take advantage on in or out lap, but if you're this far back, the odds of that happening really do dwindle. And back to Tony Stewart, who's now on the bumper of both the Waltrips, Michael and Darrell. Darrell running 11th, Michael running 29th. Stewart around the dogleg on the high side, disposes Michael Waltrip, and now has only Darrell in front, as does Ernie Irvin, to get to the leader. So Tony Stewart doing a pretty good job not letting Logano slip away, despite seemingly having the better car. Stick with Logano as stops should take place here within the next 5 to 10 laps at most. I mean, I would even say this next lap, but you could probably make it the rest of the way. Tony Stewart has caught this group and is now going to be within a second of the leader. But Logano might slip away just before pit stops as he's on the high side here. Dale Sr. falling back a lot. 4.2 seconds now, back to third. Here comes Logano. And Stewart. Oh, wow. Both the leaders down pit lane. Let's see. Dale Earnhardt, he's down. Jimmy Johnson, all of the leaders. This is where to keep the camera. No question about it. Kyle Busch comes out in front of Logano and made him check up just slightly. Is it enough to make a difference here? Stewart. Tony Stewart comes out. They almost hit off pit exit. Into heavy traffic as well. Oh my goodness, here we go. Logano still the leader. Well, I guess David Pearson technically is right now. But first and second separated by a car right now. You see Tony Stewart on the inside doing what he can with these fresh tires. Keep pace with Logano. Oh, I thought Tony Stewart was about to wreck there with David Pearson. They may have made contact. There goes Stewart around red. Earnhardt Sr. just back a little ways here. He's got Jimmy Johnson with him. Larson and Busch a bit further back. And there goes Stewart by Neil Bonnet. But it seems like every time Stewart gets around a car, Logano's around the next one already. It's always one step behind. Proverbial game of catching up or cat and mouse here. Oh, but Logano losing a ton of speed there through the dogleg on the inside. That puts us bumper to bumper for the lead. 70 laps to go now, 69 laps remain. Earnhardt Sr. is about to make it a three-car battle. He's here. So the top three about to be separated by no more than the cars they are driving. Logano trying to go three wide here in turn three. Can't make it work. Checking up. Tony Stewart's going the high side. Earnhardt Sr. got the gap down to less than a second here. Almost contact with Davey Allison and Terry Labonte. Tony Stewart trying to get through the lap traffic before Logano and Earnhardt have a chance to regroup here. Three wide through the dogleg. Stewart and Logano still on the outside. Earnhardt's going to follow. Looks like these top three are going to be... That's definitely where the race win is going to come from, is these three cars. Stewart, Logano, Earnhardt. Logano was totally sideways there. This is the lead pack coming off of turn one. Through the dogleg. Into turn three. Incredible racing here at Concord. SCCS Stock Car Championship Series presented by Dizzy V Designs. You can't ask for much more than this. Top three over, let's see, 200 miles into this event. Separated by not even sheet metal at this point. Stewart's going to catch the traffic first and get around the best. So that's a big move here at this point. timing the traffic. And just like that, he's got a half-second lead. Jimmy Johnson's 5 seconds back, so it's really down to these 3 cars, at least for the time being. A lot can change. Like we might have had a car spinning even there in turn 1. At least a car locked up. See if we can find anything in post-race. You see those tire marks there, though. And yet again, the top 3 accordion back up. Like a rubber band or a yo-yo that just keeps extending and retracting. And all the while, it shuffles with each each contract, or once it comes back and pulls back together, the top 3 will shuffle their positions. Earnhardt yet to really lead a lot of laps, though. It's really been Tony Stewart and Joey Logano. These top 3 just holding on to each other. But no more pit stops. It's all down to this. Leave it all on the track between these 3 cars. Logano to the outside of Earnhardt. Just can't leave that outside open. But at the same time, now Tony Stewart's going to be stuck behind Jeff Burton. So Earnhardt could potentially be in the best position. Oh, Burton comes down in front of Earnhardt Jr. But it's going to open up the door on the outside for Stewart to get around. He will clear this traffic with Logano now second, and Earnhardt back to third. Stewart to the inside now, looking low on Jeff Burton, but he's got Ernie Irvin in front of him on the inside. Maybe not the best spot to be, as Logano's now going to go up to the top. Just like that, Logano to the lead, Earnhardt second, and Tony Stewart third, and we have 50 laps to go. It is crunch time. Logano and Earnhardt first and second, bumper to bumper. Tony Stewart, he's back there. We got Bobby Allison between. Jeff Burton, but Jeff Burton holding well to the inside here. Should be in for a crazy finish here at Concord. Under 50 laps to go. Currently riding behind Alan Kowicki is the leader, Joey Logano. Kowicki's 16th right now. And then ahead of that is a plethora of traffic, a ton of traffic. So this will likely determine the race here. How these guys get through the traffic. Right now, Logano on the inside, it's going to hurt him. Earnhardt can maybe make a move to the outside. He doesn't. They're going to go to the inside to get around Kowicki. Logano will be clear off of one. Earnhardt looking to keep touch, but loses some speed on the inside. Kowicki gonna cut down on the nose. And this will give Stewart a run to the outside for second. Kyle Busch is now up to fourth around Jimmy Johnson. But those spots continue to switch places. Here we got Dale Earnhardt and Tony Stewart trying to figure out who's going to take second and then take the fight to Joey Logano, who's now caught the tail end of this field. Working Chase Elliott, easily dispatched of him. To go this time by Logano, looking pretty good here. He's getting around the lap traffic. He's on the high side. Meanwhile, Earnhardt and Stewart yet to even get around their first car. Stuck behind Chase Elliott and Alan Kowicki. Not how they want this to be going. Back up to the leader. See Bill Elliott, he was using a bit of apron there in turn one to make the car rotate. Pretty incredible. Stewart now clear. And looking to track down Logano one more time. Does he have time? Earnhardt Sr., he's losing a lot. Still stuck back in that traffic. So he's behind Jeff Burton as at the moment. While Stewart has now got the gap back to under a second. Still working with Bobby Allison and Bill Elliott here. But now to the outside, so Stewart's going to follow in Logano's tracks. 35 laps remain. Should be right on the dot on fuel. I don't imagine anyone put in anything more than they needed. About 2/3 tank. Hopefully nobody took less. But here we are, closing laps at Concord. Logano looking for his first win on the year. Tony Stewart, the inaugural winner of the series at Michigan. Wanting to make himself the first repeat winner of this series. And you got Dale Earnhardt Sr. looking for his first win as well, back there in third, but has some work to do. It's clear lap traffic, but time is running out. Here's the leader, Logano. Gonna be 30 to go now this time by. The opportunities are coming fewer and further between. Tony Stewart now going to be right behind Logano. See if we can go on board for a moment with the 20 car. On board with Tony Stewart, you see the leader directly in front. Lots of traffic to the inside. Almost 25 remaining. And at 16 seconds a lap, you know, you're looking at 3 laps a minute. This will be a very short-lived finish. Currently riding on the high side behind Harry Gann, who's working the outside of Kyle Petty. 2 slower cars, but it's working to the leader's advantage for the moment. Now to the inside, Gant. Gonna give the leaders the outside here, looks like in turn 1. And Stewart will follow Logano as they make their way down the back straightaway. 1, 2. Had to lift a bit as Harry Gant was still there to his inside. And now Logano closes up on Clint Boyer. We are at 25 laps to go now, 24 laps to go. It's amazing how quick the laps tick off here. And now the gap is so small. It's like they're right on each other here for the win. You see first and second. Oh, Stewart's going to get held up. Oh, so does Logano on the inside. So it actually impacts both drivers out of turn 2, or the dog leg. Dale Sr.'s closing his gap. Believe it or not, he's not done. He's like the Terminator back here. Tony Stewart cannot get rid of Clint Boyer off his right rear. Clear him off the corner. There he does. Finally. 20 to go this time by Clint Boyer, Carl Edwards to the inside. Gonna give Logano the outside with no fight. He knows what's at stake for these leaders. 20 laps to remain and the gap is less than a second. Logano being chased down by his old ride, which is currently piloted by his predecessor, Tony Stewart. Multiverse in full effect here in the Stock Car Championship Series. You see Logano holding on to the lead, not making any mistakes. Tony Stewart just trying to make the same pass that Logano makes and stick to his rear bumper. Gap at 0.4. Dale Sr. 2 seconds back. He's got a few lap cars between himself and the lead. Then Kyle Busch 4th. Battle for the lead. Side by side here. 15 laps remain. Stewart's looking low. There's nowhere to go on the inside. Logano is up high. Definitely the preferred line. And he's going to get to the outside of Bubba Wallace off of 3 and potentially clear Bubba on the backstretch. Making the right move. Tony Stewart does follow. Got Mark Martin on the inside. Looks like he might have just been out of pit lane. Nope. Just a bit of a checkup on the inside. See the gap. First and second. Logano and Stewart. As long as they both keep running the high line, though, there's nowhere for Stewart to pass. The lap traffic is helping Logano because it doesn't provide Stewart any passing opportunity. Unless Logano takes the inside line at some point. It's really up to Logano making a mistake with 10 laps to go. It's got out to about 0.8 of a second here, but it's only temporary. Stewart gets a great turn 3 with nobody in his way. It's a huge run here and may even close it as Logano is on the inside. He's going to get held up by Harvick on his outside corner. Just like that, Tony Stewart potentially looking at the lead here into turn 1. Stewart low. We have a few cars actually making stops late in the race. 7 laps remain. Gap here is very hard for Stewart. He's on the inside. Nowhere to go. He's kind of stuck at this moment with 6 to go. I don't think he's going to be able to make a move. And Logano's going to pull away here on the outside. Harvick just preventing Stewart from moving up the track. And Logano with now under 5 to go, 4 at the line. Looking good here. I don't think anybody can do anything about this. 22 Pennzoil looking for his first win on the year. Currently 8th in points. Potentially move himself up into the top 5 with this run today. 3 laps remain. Into turn 1 here following Martin Truex Jr. Two laps to go here at Concord. Logano to the inside of Truex. Stewart trying to hold off Dale Earnhardt Sr. back there. It's going to be close. Here comes Logano on the white flag. He's going to win here. Concord is Logano's house. Winner in the Stock Car Championship Series. Second place, Tony Stewart. Dale Earnhardt Sr. third. Kyle Busch fourth. And we'll go through the rest of the field here in a moment. Did not have our running ticker at the top today, so I apologize for that, but I'll take a look at the field here in just a second. See where everybody finished and where everybody started. Then we'll also go through any incidents throughout the race that we may have missed. But great win here for the 22 of Joey Logano. Well-deserved win. I believe leading the most laps by a pretty decent margin. It's a great run from this Penske team. Let's take a look. Started first, finished first. Joey Logano winning from the pole. Tony Stewart started 9th and got up to 2nd. Great run for him, up 7 spots. Earnhardt Sr. up 6. And Kyle Busch up 7 as well. Jimmy Johnson started 4th and finished 5th. See, Kyle Larson fell back a bit, as did Richard Petty, Bobby Allison. Jeff Gordon, pretty standard run there. 8th and started 8th, finished 9th. David Pearson had a bit of trouble with caution flag and the timing of that. Dropped him back to 10th. He probably could have finished higher. Kelly Yarborough started 6th, finished 12th. Not a good day for him from his standards. Hamlin finishing 7 spots from his starting position in 10th. So far, biggest mover, Kyle Busch. I'm not seeing a lot of huge gains so far through the field. Up 8 spots, Ken Schrader, 39th to 31st, but I would have to say your biggest mover is Kyle Busch, considering where his finishing spot was. Oh, actually, Tony Stewart and Kyle Busch. Fastest lap of the race, also Joey Logano, the trifecta. I believe he led the most laps. He won the race and fastest lap, and he was on the pole. So huge day for Joey Logano. Anybody that didn't have a good day? Let's see if we can go back here again. Yeah, it was very straightforward, actually. Denny Hamlin maybe didn't have the day he wanted. Waltrip had a good one. So did Pearson. You know, but big, just culmination of most of the best drivers at the front and the back markers at the back. And we'll just see how it works itself out with the points. We'll go ahead and check the start of this race, though. There is the start. Again, Joey Logano, incredible run into turn 1. Gap the field coming down the back straightaway. Let's see if we can go to our first incident here, lap 39. Bit of a run in there with Kurt Busch and Bobby Labonte. Now here's Cale Yarborough. That's the outside and clips the rear. Sends Bobby Labonte into the wall. You see the damage just kind of lingered here on the... Oh, and actually another hip check this time from Truex. Here on 208. Gordon and Waltrip. Oh, side by side, door to door. Good hard racing here at Concord. See lap 291 here. Kyle Busch and Jim Johnson, they get into it. He rides up into Clint Bowyer. Nice pass by Kyle Busch despite the contact. And that's it. Not much to speak of here today at Concord in regards to incidents. But again, your winner today, Joey Logano, pole sitter, led the most laps and fastest lap. A grand slam here in the Stock Car Championship Series. Maximum points for Joey Logano. Again, your winner here today. Next week, or actually, next we'll be back again on Monday. Next race will be at VIR, the North Course. So not running the full course, just the North Course, as when we did try to run the full course, we had cars sliding off uncontrollably over the hill and over into Oak Tree, just a big parking lot. So just going to run the North Course. It works out really well. It'll be 150 miles from that track. And again, that'll be on Monday. And then Friday next week, we will be at the iRacing Super Speedway for 400 miles. So 2 great races scheduled for next week. Again, thank you for tuning in here for Concord. Love these short tracks. We'll definitely have more of them on the schedule this season, but also even more next season just because they do so well. But thank you again for tuning in. We will see you guys next week on Monday and Friday for VIR and iRacing Super Speedway. Until then, have a great rest of your week and weekend, and see you next time.